Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is your favorite podcast.
Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I got a really interesting guest today. They've been making a lot of waves over the years, but this last year has been especially big for this band right here. It's Toronto rockabilly band, Doghouse Rose. I've gotten to know Jefferson and Sarah over the last year, and I'm very happy to do so. Who's the fourth guy back there?
Hi, I'm Derek.
This
Derek?
is our new guitar player.
This is our brand new guitar guy.
You guys got a new guitarist?
We
That's-
did.
That's
Yep.
wicked. That's wicked.
100 to charm, they say. Okay? 100
Derek,
guitar
can
player.
you introduce yourself, brother? Like what you did in the past, I guess, and why you picked Doghouse Rose?
So I play in a band called Twin Rivals, which is a hardcore band.
Yeah.
And Jordan's actually my cousin. And they were looking for a new guitar player, and he hit me up. He liked a lot of the work I had done with that band. And he invited me out to jam, and I was super stoked on it because I had listened to the record a lot, like all through, and I was very eager to learn it all and come out to jam, and it just fit really well. It was really tight, and I'm just really happy to be here. It's great.
Yeah, I don't think you could be with a much better group of people in that band. A bunch of great people in Doghouse Rose for sure. And I'm excited to see what you bring to the table as well, bro. So, Sarah, I'm going to ask you this question here. Signing to Stomp, how exciting has that been for you? And why did you guys decide to go the way of Stomp? Obviously, they've got a great resume over the years, but what made you guys go, you know what, that's the one?
I've wanted to be on Stomp since I was probably 18 years old. So it's been the dream punk label. They have developed a lot of really great acts, and I think that the roster is just it's varied within itself, but there's like an awesome unity, like family sort of vibe about Stomp, and it's like I'm still excited. Almost a year since we've been talking, since we talked to them about signing, and every time I think about it, I still go like, it was a game changer for us, and it kind of just shot this new life into our band, and it kind of gave us a lot of to look forward to for the future, and just couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah, that's
We'd already been playing with most of their other bands on the roster already, so we're with a lot of the bands, and did a little bit of touring with almost
A lot.
all of our fans, anyways, and the new favorites yet to come.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see.
Sorry, you're getting a little trapped.
I'm very excited to see you guys on stage with the Creep Show again. I think that will be an awesome sight to see as that Stomp family reunion comes back after everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be wild when it does. I don't know.
Absolutely.
If you let us out of the cage, I don't know if we'll ever go back in.
Yeah,
So-
talking to all the musicians that we've come in since this thing has been lifted up a little bit. Everybody's just dying to get out. All the venue owners and stuff. It's gonna be a perfect story together. I think it's actually gonna probably boost the music scene a little like that it needed in the butt just before. Just need something to set it over the edge. Not this, but anyway, yeah, it's come together well, and it's great for the band at the same time.
It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see. I'm really excited for what the future holds for you guys. So I know that you guys like you're pretty well known everywhere, but in Europe, you guys have quite the following. You do really well in Europe. Why do you think the market in Europe? Obviously, your music's great, and you guys are great people, so it makes sense that you're big there. But what do you think the big factor is of why you guys crush it in Europe like you do?
What do you think, Jordan?
That's a good question. I think a big part of that is they love like old America, and it's like they really have to like that era. So a band that has any semblance of that, they eat it up immediately. Like I think that's a big part of it. And even just like scene in general, they're just really supportive, and they're willing to just see a new band. Like there's so many shows where it was like a new city we've never played in. We didn't, oh, this is a band I haven't heard about. Might as well go and check it out. And then customers too. Like this last Euro tour we went on, there's some people who showed up like, oh, I remember seeing you guys. Like, not really. Like it's just like, wow, that's like, that was a really long time ago. And they're like obscure show. It's cool. I think, yeah, it's like equal parts. They a certain sound, and they just are just generally supportive and willing to take a chance. And that's
I see that as well. I see that as
They
well.
love Canadians.
Yeah,
totally.
I've seen you guys live a few times now, and every time I do find that your stage presence is quite impressive. So I could see why the Europeans would be like, that's different, that's wicked. You know what I mean? It's very sick.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know,
this
we
is-
try to like make it like a 4D immersive experience. Options for entertainment. There's a lot of options for like where people can go spend their money and like the time that they're gonna have. We want to make sure that it's worth it for people to like go pay an inflated price for a beer or whatever else when you're hanging out with us. That you have. I'm glad that it translates somehow.
Yeah.
That's good.
40. What's the 4D?
Not that.
And how important is that stage presence to you guys? Like, obviously, people see it, but how much of an effort do you guys put forth on that? Like, is that one of the things where you're like, listen, if Doghouse is going to be Doghouse, we got to put ourselves at having the best stage performance around, kind of thing?
I'll sacrifice a note to do the jump. And it carries on from there. You know, it really, if you're feeding off the audience, like, for example, Sid Vicious, you know, people, we're pretty into seeing him lift off the bass and smash it over that guy's head, and the show must go on after that, of course. But yeah, it's stage presence is it's for a certain kind of band. If you're a jazz band, then stage presence really, it might not be that thing that's all that important. But if you're James Brown, it's the exact opposite of the spectrum. We're probably closer to James Brown.
I dig that analogy. So we're talking about stage presence and obviously venues with everything that's happened, not to go into detail about it, but they've been struggling. So I like to like really spotlight on every episode a venue that really means a lot to all of you. So if you each want to pick a venue, I'll let you go. A venue in Toronto would be, I think, ideal, just because we are all a part of the Toronto music scene. So yeah, I'll let you guys go with that.
I'll start. I think to me, I mean, the Bovine is probably my favorite place to play in Toronto. You can count on like your, familiar faces being there. The sound is always great. And like it just doesn't get more like Toronto rock and roll than the Bovine Sex Club. It's always fun. And like, yeah, I miss the Big Bop every single day.
Oh,
I think about it often, and probably more than I should. But you know, like the Big Bop was like, that's the all ages venue, and like the Bovine was always like, well, this is where the grown-ups go. And so now I'm one of those grown-ups. I love the Bovine.
What about you, Jordan?
Jordan, go ahead.
I would say Cherry Colas. Yeah, like
solid choices.
it's one of those places. I feel like all of us have played there in whatever capacity so many times.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those places that like they'll book you. It's like we'll give you a chance to play with, like, if you have a new project on the go, like you could hit up Matt or whoever there. They'll be like, yes, come in, play. And yeah, they're always supportive. They're always, I feel like, kind of in tune with what's going on. They'll always like put together a solid bill of like a bunch of bands that somehow work. Sometimes it's like one of those bills where there's like a ton of bands on it, but like there's a cohesion there.
And
That's
the
really
audience
cool.
is mixed there. I
Yeah.
find too. You know, it's like it's a real blend of different cultures of people, and they all come in and they're not afraid to get drunk and stupid on the floor. You know, whatever. You know, they'll loosen up at that thing.
Yeah, it's a melting pot. It's always.
What do you think, Derek?
So I think I was actually going to say Bovine Suck Club as well. There is yeah. It's also nice to like go to the tiki bar before you play, and like then go downstairs, have a good show. Also, though, I'm intrigued to see how the El Macambo's reopening is going to be with like bands like us and other bands in the city, because it was actually the first venue I ever played in Toronto. So
Lucky.
Nice.
we'll see what that reopening will be like.
Not so bad. Hey?
Yeah, I want to see the Elmo rollout as well. I'm quite interested to see how that goes, because, you know, as far as I can tell, it looks like it's going to be awesome. All right.
It's
What
been
about
like
you,
a lot of
Jefferson?
years in development.
Yeah, seriously. What do you think, Jefferson?
I'm gonna go with a solid favorite that's been around for probably since the beginning of Canada itself. It's the Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Like even way back from like they host like some of the coolest full rammed parties, but also they've always like supported the indie scene. I remember years ago I played with this one band, and they had this thing called Elvis Mondays, which is like your opportunity to just play in a venue that has great sound and great lights, and there's 5 other bands that are trying to just get out there and get their legs wet on a real stage experience, you know, in Toronto at a major venue, you know, even though it's like 20 people show up on a Monday to just see who the new band is or whatever it is, you know, that expands out, and it's valuable to any band on any level. You can do it.
I'm with you on that.
When it's rammed after you've been playing there for 5 or 6 or 7 years or whatever, then the big payoff, it's, you know, it's got such a historical value, you know.
Once that venue fills in, like once it really fills up, there's not much like the Horseshoe. And I mean, you got the good vibes of Tanya behind the bar. Like it's always a good time.
Yeah, it's a magical. It's a magical place.
We were really lucky that like one of our last shows before shows stopped being a thing for a while was like we opened for the Anti-Queens at the Horseshoe, and like they sold it out. It was so awesome to see like a local Toronto band of like 4 badass talented musicians that are also like awesome women and role models to like younger girls, to like that they on their like the sweat of their backs were able to sell at the Horseshoe, and that we were a part of that night. It was fucking everything. It was so awesome.
That show, that bill was nuts. I mean,
yeah, that was one of my favorite shows. It was so fun.
Oh my god, and Organ Thieves were on that bill too. Like, oh, so good, so good. So
it's a good send off, I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
be like a last show. It's good.
I'm gonna throw something back here. I got a question for you, Sarah. You could probably answer this for me. I know that you started off not so much as a rockabilly artist and band. You seem more like you were in the country scene at the beginning. What kind of made the transition for you?
That's actually misleading, because that's like perhaps when I was on people's radar for the first time. But if you want to go to like the beginnings, it was actually like I started in an all-girl punk band when I was like 16. just like, you know, and then I was like a go-go dancer for this like band called the Famous Monsters in Toronto, like go-go dancer, backup singer. And then like I had a psychobilly band shortly after that. So like it was kind of like more punk. And then like I kind of like actually started like hanging out with Sarah Blackwood, who was like the old singer of the Creep Show. And like she was kind of doing a country solo thing, and it kind of like inspired me, like because I had like all these like acoustic songs, and I kind of went that route for a little while. And then like I hooked up with Jeff, who was like kind of like he was doing some like psychobilly stuff, but he also had like this kind of like, I don't know, like folk rock and roll group. So when we got together at first, it kind of like developed into that kind of more like twangy, rootsy sound. But like the further we went on, the more we kind of like his roots are more actually like metal. And then like the further we went on with Jordan, like his roots are punk rock and jazz. So like it kind of like, you know, as we kind of went on, we were like, you know, I think we're kind of just a punk band, guys. Like we should probably just play the punk rock that we all know and love. So, you know, it was like a long kind of like transition, and like I don't regret anything. Every step of the way was really fun, and it was nice to like explore different sounds. But like the one that we're at now, especially like with the addition of Garrick on guitar, like this dude can palm you like a son of a bitch. It's awesome. So, you know, we're really excited at the sound that we have now, and like going forward, like who knows, you know?
Yeah, it really culminated on this album. I think it really came to a head. Like the songs themselves, even some of the more psychobilly or rockabilly stuff that we're kind of like leaving behind a little bit. Like even those songs kind of ended up being a little more punk in the final mix, in the final production of it, when we sat down and started hacking away and what's going to tape. Well, it ended up being like a solid, you know, post pop punk album kind of thing, if I may say that. Can I say that?
I think you can say that.
Say that.
Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, what do you guys got coming down the pipeline? What are you working on right now? What should people be expecting from Doghouse Rose over the next little bit?
Touring. Lots and lots and lots of touring. Yeah. As soon as we are allowed to, we want to hit the ground running and tour this album that we recorded and that we released in November. We just want to like get out there and play live as much as possible. And we want to do that internationally. We want to go back to Europe. We want to go to the States. We do have a festival booked, like a real life festival booked for September, which we're really looking forward to. Hopefully everything happens and we can actually go. We're doing a couple of like online festivals as well in the meantime. And yeah, our record, The Harder They Fall, is still, you know, it's out and everything. So we haven't had a chance to tour it. We really want to get out and share that with everyone. But we are like writing new songs already. Like it just, you know, so we have that to look forward to as well.
Yeah, Canadian tentative dates across Canada, sometime October, November, something like that. The one in September is Mini Pooza, because Pooza 2 years in a row has been put off, kind of thing. But there, of course, it's going to be in Montreal, so they're probably a little bit ahead of us as far as this unrolling thing. So it's probably actually going to happen in September. Mini Pooza with all your favorite Stomp bands plus tax, and that's the beginning of this uphill slide that we're all going to be starting to try and climb again. Known as the music scene.
I'm so excited. I didn't even know there was a Mini Pooza either. You just blew my mind. So
I probably shouldn't.
I will be there.
It's not been announced, but
that sounds wicked. And yeah, so is it just Canada you're kind of looking at booking right now, or are you booking in the US and Europe as well right now?
It's a little too early to like know for sure. We kind of want to like make sure that everything is like done properly, and like we are looking to do that as soon as we can. For now, it's Canada. There is like a tentative tour that's being planned for the US, so we're hoping maybe like in the late fall, early winter we might be able to get that done, but like no official dates yet.
And there's talk of Europe with one of our favorite bands over there. We've been talking about for a little while. So hopefully this time it's coming together, possibly early next year.
a lot of things to look forward to with you guys
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah, man.
I'm amped. You just dropped some bombs on this podcast too, so thank you for that.
Wow,
Dropping
it's all been building up inside. We're ready to explode on stage. Just
We haven't-
to tell someone.
We haven't seen the sun in so long.
Yeah.
Well, and it's nice to see you guys finally together as a band right now too, with everything that's happened. That the fact that you guys are on the same screen right now is awesome.
It's for us
and
too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do another interview with you guys in the future. Hopefully after one of your shows when I get my podcast going mobile and stuff, but we can make
Ooh,
that
that'd be
happen.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Very
be
first show
wicked.
that we play in Toronto. Make sure you come out and we'll do a little thing
We'll hang out. We'll have a beverage.
backstage with
100%.
Kennedy.
In
Backstage,
person.
yeah, that'd be great.
Always. Always. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I do appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Hey,
And
thanks for having us, bro.
yeah, we will talk soon. You guys stay safe, and we'll see you at that next show. Okay.
Sounds
right.
good. Thanks, Kennedy. Bye.
Buns, check.
Hot dogs, mustard check,
Ketchup.
hot stuff. Nah.
Where's the hot stuff? I didn't bring any.
Yeah. So good with the hot stuff?
Very good with the hot stuff.